Good morning. How are you?
Good morning. How you doing?
I'm doing great. You've had a few days to put that game one behind you guys now, but can you kind of talk about what that moment meant to you now that you've had a chance to come back and think about it?
It was a very special moment going against Wisconsin. It was a game that we definitely had to go in there and will it to happen. They were great opponents. They played extremely well, and just the warrior spirit that we had to have to pull that game through. It was definitely a highlight of my career.
We'll go to Rich Scarcella and then Audrey Snyder. You're on deck.
Good morning, Ji'Ayir. Appreciate your time this morning. What do you think was the difference overall by the defense? What do you think decided the game defensively?
Just our grit. You know, we had a lot of guys who are hungry and eager to get the win. We was not going to let anything bad happen on our terms. You know, we were going to control the game on defense. And we decided that as a unit, and we went out there and proved it to ourselves that we were going to do it.
Audrey Snyder, new bias, Wilborn on deck.
Hey, Jair, thanks for your time. Can you kind of take us through that final pick that you had there? What were you thinking beforehand, and kind of what are you thinking as the ball's coming towards you?
So I dropped one earlier that I should have had, and what I was saying on the sideline was that it's going to come back to me. It's going to come back to me. There we go. Fourth quarter, third down. The QB throws the ball, and as it's coming to me, I'm just like, oh, this one's definitely mine. And I grabbed it and I sealed the game for us. And it was a very special moment.
Go new bias, Wilborn.
Muted. Technology's the bug, man. Thanks
Hey,
for doing this, Ji'Ayir, as always. Did you take a moment and kind of look back to those days at Lackawanna, those much smaller fields and everything, and then now you're in this big game at Camp Randall and also one of your partners who was there with you?
Yeah, I definitely revert back to Lackawanna. You know, just it was so different. You know, the fans wasn't there as they are now, and the game style is a little bit different. It's definitely a blessing though to be here and to be playing at Camp Randall in front of what I think 90,000 fans. It's been great to play with Brisker, as you all know. We've been doing this since junior college, since Lackawanna, making plays. So it's just been a natural thing for both of us, and we're going to continue to do it.
We'll go to Donnie Collins, David Eckert. You're on deck.
Hey, Ji'Ayir, did you get to talk to Coach Duda after the game or in the days afterwards? And what did it mean to you to see Jaquan go through some of the injury issues he had with the cramping and stuff like that and keep coming back and end up making a big play for you guys?
A warrior spirit, you know, it's nothing surprising to me. He's a warrior. He's always been a warrior. There's nothing new that he did out there that shocked me. I knew he was going to come right back. I knew he was going to keep playing. When you want the win so bad, there's nothing that can stop you. You're going to keep going regardless of what's happening. So I kind of expected that from Jaquan, and there was no surprise there.
David Eckert, Greg Pickle, you're on deck.
Hey, Ji'Ayir. Thanks for your time this morning. Given how much you guys were on the field on Saturday, I wanted to ask you how you're feeling physically after playing so many snaps, and whether you guys are doing anything different, just kind of as a defense to recover from all of the snaps you played. Thanks.
There's nothing different, you know. Some days you're gonna go in a game and play 90 snaps. Some days you're gonna go in and play 50. The routines after the game is always the same. You know, we try to stay on the same routine throughout the year. That way we can hold ourselves accountable to getting the proper treatment, the proper recovery, in and out the hot tubs and cold tubs. Just taking care of our bodies and taking care of our business. So nothing really changed as far as the approach to this week.
Greg Pickle and Seth Engel, you're on deck.
Good morning. So you obviously got to experience playing in front of a crowd at Wisconsin. You just talked about that. So what are you most looking forward to about playing in front of a Beaver Stadium crowd this weekend, and how can that help you guys against Ball State?
I'm definitely looking forward to a sellout stadium. You know, as you've seen Coach Franklin mention it not too long ago. I'm looking to a sellout stadium, fans that are excited to see us play, that haven't seen us play in over a year. It's going to be great. I'm really looking forward to seeing my name on the jumbotron when they do the starting lineup. That'll be great.
Next, we'll go to Seth, followed by Audrey.
Hey, Ji'Ayir. Going through a couple of years at JUCO is obviously a very different path than a lot of the other teammates you've played with Penn State. So I'm just wondering, how did your 2 seasons at Lackawanna, what did that do for your mindset, differently than maybe the rest of your teammates?
Lackawanna shapes you as a man early, you know. It's not like here where you might come in as a freshman and they kind of guide you through everything. When you go to Lackawanna, you have to become a man as soon as possible, right on the spot, because there's a lot of grown man decisions you have to make, and you have to be able to manage your time, your body, and all that on your own without the proper resources. So growing up extremely fast at Lackawanna helped me at Penn State mentally and physically, knowing that I had to take care of my body and study the playbook on my own and stuff like that. Lackawanna was a great opportunity for me. I'll go there again if I could.
Go to Audrey Snyder, and then we'll go back to Tyler Donahue.
I think Coach Duda would take you back if you want to go. Ji'Ayir, staying on Lackawanna, you mentioned how, you can't wait to see your name on the video board this Saturday. Was there ever a part for you during this journey? Because I know, coming out of high school, obviously your recruitment was way different than a lot of guys in Penn State's locker room. Did you ever have a doubt that you'd get here to this moment? Did you ever kind of let your mind wander down that path?
To be honest, I never really thought about it, I was always a guy who lived in a present moment and just did everything I was supposed to do and hope for the best. But I never really thought about my future while I was at Lackawanna or I was in high school. I always just knew I was going to be somewhere where I was going to end up being great and I was going to be a player for some coach somewhere.
Tyler Donahue.
Ji'Ayir, can you kind of give us a heads up on when you realized Arnold Ebiketie was going to be such a significant factor in year one, and what did he do for the defense overall with his performance on Saturday?
Since the first rep I seen Arnold take, I knew he was going to be a monster. Extremely fast, extremely light on his feet, and he plays within a framework, and he has a hunger to him that you don't really see out of most D linemen. He was very different when he came in, and he continues to prove everyone right who knew who he was going to be great. So it's been great to play with AK, and I'll continue to evaluate him as the best DN in Big Ten football.
Go back to Rich Scarcella, New Bias Wilborn on deck.
Ji'Ayir, what do you think you did win the job in preseason camp? What was your reaction when you heard you won the job? And what do you think your strengths are?
When I won a job, my first reaction was that, obviously I have to keep the job and I have to continue to do everything I was doing right during preseason camp and continue to make plays and maintain my starting status. So it wasn't, a let my foot off the gas situation. It was I have to do more. I have to watch more film. I have to study more. I have to make more plays. That's how I approached it when I won a job. Yeah, that's about it.
New Bias Wilborn.
All right, so the boys call you Tig, man. Is that from the cartoon character? Where that nickname come from, bro? If you had already noticed that before.
Yeah, so definitely from the cartoon character from Winnie the Pooh, Tigger the Tiger. My original nickname was Tigger because I used to jump around a lot when I was a baby, and as I got older, I didn't want people calling me Tigger, so I just cut it short, had people calling me Tig. So that's how I came with the nickname.
Go to Donnie Collins, Seth Engel, you're on deck.
Jair, what do you see from the Ball State offense that's impressive and that kind of shows their experience since they have a lot of guys coming back?
Yeah, this is definitely going to be a great game. A very experienced group. They play extremely well within their system. I'm still doing a film study on them. I'm still trying to figure out who they really are as a team. So I really don't have much to say about them as of right now. But yeah, this definitely is going to be a great game from what I've seen so far.
Go to Seth's angle. Tyler Donahue, you're on deck.
So how has your relationship with Jaquan developed through the years, kind of based on the similar path you've taken?
So when I first met Jaquan, the first actual, when I met him and I seen his physical traits and his speed and all the other things, I just knew he was going to be great. And he thought the same way about me. So when we met each other, we was already instantly bonded from there. And over the years, playing together and working out with each other and pushing each other through adversity, it just pulled us closer as brothers. And we're going to continue to be brothers, from here on out. It's just a permanent thing with us now.
Tyler Donahue.
Ji'Ayir, when you look at the offense and not putting up a point in the first half, and how did you see that group? I know you're busy with your own stuff, but how did you see that group emotionally respond in the second half after that halftime and been able to kind of right the ship and get 16 points, which proved to be enough?
It's not a sprint, it's a marathon. You have 4 quarters to make things right. And they battled some adversity early, but they never really was worried. They never hung their head. They never was sad. It's a chess match. You have to figure out different strategies and move different pieces and make plays when they come. So they were never rattled by their performance in the first half. They came out second half and continued to do the same thing that they did all camp and all winter. Revert back to their trainer and make the proper plays when they came.
We'll go to Audrey Snyder.
Jair, Brisker was telling us after the game Saturday that going into his pick that he said to you, watch stick nod, they like 84, that he saw that earlier in the game when he was riding the bike. What do you remember about that conversation and what did you maybe learn about Brisker in the moment? Because that certainly seems like something a leader does there.
Yeah, Brisker, he is extremely confident in his film study and the way he approached the game. He is the one person I can say that he sees the game a lot slower than the previous years when he was here. He recognizes stuff on the move, as we're in the game, as we're making plays in the game. He recognizes what's going on and he sees the routes they want. And it's almost like he's in the opposing offensive coordinator's mind, So when we were on the sideline, he said that, we prepared for that to come as one of their bread and butter plays. So he was already there prepared for it.
Go to Rich Scarcella. Alvaro, you're on deck.
I'm fine, thank you.
All right, Alvaro.
Yeah, hello, Yair. Your red zone interception of Graham Metz late in the game was the icing of the cake in a game where the secondary shined. Was it a priority for you to limit their passing game right from the beginning of the game?
No, we had to stop their passing game, their running game first, to make them pass the ball, where I feel like that's more the running game is more of their strength. Passing the ball is not too much in their offensive game style. So when we got them to pass the ball, we felt extremely confident that we were going to get the stop.
We have time for a few more. We'll go back to New Bias.
Two things. One, what did it mean for you guys when you lost Ellis Brooks after that targeting penalty, but also what did it mean for Laketta to kind of be able to go back and forth the way he was?
It was definitely, a hurtful moment that we lost our starting linebacker during a targeting penalty. But, we can't dwell on that during the game. Ellis didn't dwell on it. He came to the sideline and he was hyping everybody up. Like, we still got this. We still can do it. without him. So it was a next man up mentality. And, Jesse Luketa, another amazing player, not even stepped up. Jesse does what he does, and he did exactly what we expected him to do in that game. So it was definitely a great moment to see Jesse come in there and still uphold the linebacker spot.
Go to Connor Kraus next.
Hey, Ji'Ayir, can you talk a little about your red zone defense this week and how that helped propel the game, especially after a year where your red zone defense wasn't that solid?
Yeah, like I said earlier, the grit, guys not wanting the other guys to score, and then drives on our terms. So, the defense is going to be lights out during that situation. That's when we grit up and we try to make the stop as soon as possible and get our offense back the ball. And that's all it is in the red zone is grit.
We'll go with two more. We'll go Tyler Donahue, and then we'll wrap up with Audrey Snyder.
Ji'Ayir, Jesse Luketa really did flash early on in that game at defensive end. Why do you think he translated so well? You saw him at linebacker all last year. Why do you think it was a good transition and one that paid off with production?
It makes the defense more versatile. And with a veteran guy like Jesse Luketa, he can handle both positions. He can learn both and be able to manage that. So it's a great thing for the defense to have a linebacker who can also play DN and play linebacker when you need them. It just gives us a lot of things that we can do, a lot of different things we can do with that.
And last question, Audrey Snyder.
Jared, going back to your pick on Saturday, after the game, who was blowing up your phone? How crazy did it get? And have you gone back and watched the interception once or 10 times since then?
I had a lot of messages from a lot of family members, a lot of calls, still responding to calls and text messages as of now. Yes, I did go back and watch the video about 10 times, watch it on film about 10 times. I've seen it on Twitter about 10 times. So it was definitely a great moment to me for my first start to make a play like that.
Thanks, Jared.
You're welcome.
All right. Thank you, Ji'Ayir, and thank you, everyone, for joining us.